Today's Steelers Talk video is presented by Hexclad. Go to hexclad.com/chat and use promo code chat to get 10% off some of these guys' awesome cookware. Can't wait to tell you guys about Hexclad more later on today's show. And welcome into Steelers Talk Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry, and today we're going to be discussing the 2023 Steelers draft class and whether it could potentially become the greatest draft class in Steelers history, even over the 1974 class, which is widely considered one of the best draft classes in the history of the National Football League. Can't wait to break down this year's draft class with you here in just a second. But let me know who your guy is down in the comments section. Name your favorite Steelers draft pick from the 2023 draft class for me down there in the comments section. So let's talk a little bit about the 1974 class here first before we get into 2023, because 74 was a very special year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, this group that ended up coming in got the Steelers over the limit here, or over the hill, and got them their first Super Bowl championship in franchise history. Guys like Lynn Swann, Jack Lambert, John Starworth, and Mike Webster, all NFL Hall of Famers in one draft. Getting Mike Webster there in round 5 at 125th overall, arguably the best center to ever play the game, is an absolute steal. And the Steelers, this was the foundation of the Steelers dynasty throughout the 70s and very early 80s, where they won 4 Super Bowl championships, and they had 10 NFL Hall of Famers on those teams, and that's not even including the coaches and executives that are a part of the NFL Hall of Fame as well. This was an absolutely loaded team during from 1972 onward. They won 7 of 8 division titles, 6 of 8 AFC championships, and they had 7 double-digit win seasons. So obviously, having a draft class of this caliber where you have 4 NFL Hall of Famers, it can catapult a team to really, really big things and great successes. And personally, I think the Steelers draft class here in 23 could have a chance at touching that 74 draft class, as crazy as that sounds, because 1974 was arguably the best draft class for any team in NFL history. Now, it's definitely going to be a tough mountain to climb for the 2023 draft class to even get close to that 1974 group. But let me tell you, man, I think the 2023 class has the talent to potentially match or even surpass this 1974 group. So let me know what you guys think about that 1974 draft class. Which guy was the best pick overall? Was it Lynn Swann, type LS? Was it John Stallworth? Go JS. Was it Jack Lambert, type JL? Or if you think it was the center, Mike Webster, go ahead and type MW for me down in the comment section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, so YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by giving me your number 1 pick here in the 1974 draft class. For me, I think the best pick out of all of them, I mean, obviously they're all Hall of Famers, so they're all so it's obviously an all-time group. But if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to go for the best value, and that's to get arguably the best center in NFL history in the 5th round with Mike Webster. We know how much of a legend Webster is in Steelers lore. I mean, there's a lot of guys that you could call Mr. Steeler just based on their toughness, based on their tenacity, but Mike Webster is definitely in that category of all-time great Steelers legends. And speaking of Steelers legends, could there be some of those guys here in the 2023 draft class that got rave reviews from Steelers fans the world over? Omar Khan, the first-year GM, really knocked it out of the park with the 7 picks that he had. And he started things off by trading up for Georgia offensive tackle Broderick Jones. Now, Jones, throughout the draft process, I was calling him one of, if not the best, run-blocking offensive tackles in the National Football League. And for a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers that's going to be trying to really establish the run in 2023, I think that was a fantastic move to go up and trade. They didn't give up too much, which was absolutely fantastic. And when it comes to Broderick Jones, he's somebody that's got nothing but potential. He has the long arms. He's got the thick legs. He's got the strength. He's got the athleticism. If he hits, he could be one of the best left tackles in the National Football League for the next decade, and he absolutely has what it takes from a physical standpoint to be a Hall of Fame caliber player here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now listen, I don't want to put Hall of Fame expectations on any of these guys necessarily because they're still rookies, but I really think that Broderick Jones has that pedigree that could potentially land him in Canton, Ohio when his career is eventually over. I really do think he's something special. So I'm going to be breaking down the rest of the 2023 draft class here in just a second. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor at Hexclad. Today's Steelers Talk video is presented by Hexclad. Get 10% off some premium cookware when you go to hexclad.com/chat. All right, guys, it's time to talk about your kitchen. And no, I'm not talking about your roommate's dishes that have been in the sink since earlier this week. Hexclad has revolutionized the cookware industry with a hybrid pan that gives you all the convenience and cleanup of a nonstick, the versatility of your grandma's cast iron, and a lifetime warranty just in case you find a way to destroy it. Use promo code CHAT at hexclad.com/chat for 10% off. But don't just take my word for it, guys. Celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay uses these pans in his own home kitchen. This is what Chef Ramsay has to say about Hexclad. The sear I can get with these pans is incredible, with absolutely no stick. The temperature control is utter perfection, and the cleanup is effortless. I love using Hexclad at home. And let me tell you guys, these are the sexiest pans on the market. I brought my own Hexclad pan from home. I cook steak on this baby 2 to 3 times a week. And look at this. It is spotless, super easy to clean. It's got the best sear that I've ever put on a steak in my entire life. Score points at home. It's time to stop ordering delivery food and start cooking like a big boy with Hexclad. Real cuisine isn't made in a microwave. It's cooked in a Hexclad. For a limited time, get 10% off with our special link, hexclad.com/chat. That's 10% off at hexclad.com/chat with promo code chat. But after you trade up for Broderick Jones there in round 1, you had the first pick in the second round, and with that pick, you picked the son of Steelers legend Joey Porter with that number 32 overall pick. And let me tell you, man, it's nice to have somebody with family ties come into the Steelers organization, but Joey Porter Jr. was born to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, not just because his dad was a Steelers legend, but because his game is tailor-made for this defense, right? The long arms, the physicality, the type of mentality, the alpha mentality that he brings to the table. It screams number 1 cornerback here in the city of Bridges for many years to come. Now, he did get a little bit grabby there in Penn State. He's going to have to get over those issues a little bit in the National Football League, but he's getting rave reviews during OTAs and minicamp to this point. And personally, I think that it's just destiny for Joey Porter Jr. to be a number 1 lockdown cornerback here in the city of Pittsburgh. And as long as Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin are there running the defense here in Pittsburgh, I think he's going to be a number 1 caliber guy starting here in 2023. The next guy they drafted here in round 2 was Keeanu Benton, who was pretty much from the start my number 1 nose tackle in this year's NFL draft class because of the way that he affects the game as a run defender. He gets in the backfield, a ton of tackles for loss. And to me, when I was looking at him throughout the draft process, I was like, this guy reminds me a lot of Cam Hayward, right? I had a first-round grade on Keeanu Benton, and you get him there in the second round. That is absolutely fantastic. And not only is he a comparable type of athlete to Cam, but now he gets to learn from Hayward here as the sunset of his career begins to fall. And I think that he could be an excellent replacement for Hayward. And if you're getting that kind of player from Keeanu Benton, if you're getting a surefire Hall of Fame type of player like Cam Hayward is now, I mean, oh my Lord, that is an absolute steal in the second round for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Benton's probably going to be playing more nose tackle than 3 technique this year, so he's going to be more of a run blocker. But I think as his career begins to unfold, I think he's going to develop into an insane pass rusher that perennially makes Pro Bowls and makes a couple of All-Pro teams. And then you get into the third round, you trade down, but you still land Georgia tight end Darnell Washington, which some people had projected going in the first round. Now, he had some knee issues, which is why he fell there in the third round, but Washington has the potential to be one of the most dominant tight ends in the National Football League, given that size and speed combination. 6'6", 264. Pat Freiermuth was talking the other day about how this guy is bigger than most of their offensive tackles. I mean, this is essentially a 6 tackle that you have on your offensive line, and he could be an excellent receiver with the way that this guy can run. So the size and speed combination here, it's very unique, and if he can stay healthy, Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth could be the most dynamic duo at the tight end position that we've seen in the NFL for a very, very long time, making the Steelers' offense that much harder to stop. And absolutely, if this guy breaks out the way that I think he could potentially, even in his rookie season, I mean, we might be talking about a Hall of Fame caliber player here that you get in round 3. So let me know which Steelers rookie you think is going to have the best career overall. Do you think it's the first-round pick, Broderick Jones, type BJ? Do you think it's going to be Joey Porter Jr., type JPJ? Do you think it's going to be Keeanu Benton, type KB? Or do you think it's going to be the third-round pick, Darnell Washington? Give me a DW down there in the comments section. For me, I think the safest answer is Joey Porter Jr. coming out of Penn State. I think that he is just the perfect prospect to play in the Steelers defense from the outside cornerback position. The long arms, the physicality. I mean, the Steelers love to do bump and run, man coverage, and also, press bail as well with cover 3. They do a bunch of different stuff, but they usually like to do it in press. And in order to survive in press in the National Football League, you got to have long arms, you got to be extremely strong, and you have to be fast. Joey Porter Jr. is all three of those things, and I think that with the mentality that he brings to the table, where you are not going to beat me, plain and simply, period, game over, I think that he's going to be the true alpha number 1 lockdown cornerback here in the City of Champions for many years to come. Then after those first 4 guys that I'm really, really excited about, you get some great value on day 3, starting in round 4 with Wisconsin edge rusher Nick Herbig. Now, I don't think Nick Herbig's going to be an NFL Hall of Famer, okay? I'm just going to say that right now. But I think it is a superb value because you get this guy in the 4th round, and Pro Football Focus was projecting this kid to go in the 2nd round. I mean, good Lord, you're getting this guy as a great rotational pass rusher to start, and I think that he's got the coverage ability to eventually move to the inside linebacker position and be a really quality starter for the black and gold for probably the next decade. So I think this is a slam dunk pick in the 4th round. Probably not a Hall of Fame caliber talent, probably not an all-pro type of talent or anything like that, but I really like the pick, and I love the culture fit as well. And then you get to the 7th round, and you already have Joey Porter Jr. You get another long, physical, strong corner in Cory Trice Jr. out of Purdue. I had a 3rd-round grade on Cory Trice. I was a big-time proponent of him going on day 2. He falls to the very end of day 3. When the Steelers took Nick Herbig, I thought there was 0% chance that Trice would be there for the Steelers in round 7. Lo and behold, he falls to them, and they take him. Now, he did have some knee issues, which is why he fell so hard, but I think that he's going to be the ultimate number 2 enforcer type cornerback on the other side of Joey Porter Jr. And if you're an offense and you have to deal with Joey Porter Jr. and Cory Trice Jr. on either side of the offense, and they're going to be bullying you every single play, you're not going to want to play the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Plain and simply, my prediction for Cory is that he's going to eventually be a starter for the Steelers here in 2023. Might start out in a backup role, but I think as the season rolls on, he's going to continue to impress and get himself more and more reps on the field as the year goes on. And then probably the least sexy pick for the Steelers, definitely the least sexy pick in my opinion, is Spencer Anderson towards the end of the 7th. But Spencer's been playing really great in OTAs in minicamp. He's pretty much a roster lock at this point because of his ability to play all 3 positions on the interior of the offensive line. Apparently he plays all of them really, really well. So to have that nice flex interior offensive lineman is going to be huge for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving into 2023. Definitely not going to be a Hall of Fame caliber talent, might not ever even be a starter, but to have a really nice depth piece along the interior of the offensive line is something the Steelers needed desperately, and you get that there in the 7th round. Absolutely fantastic stuff from first-year GM Omar Khan. So you take a look at the class in totality. I think this group has the potential to be at least a top 3 unit, or top 3 draft class, I should say, in Steelers history, right? You got a left tackle, a number 1 cornerback. You got potentially the next Cam Hayward and Keeanu Benton. Darnell Washington could be a potential Hall of Fame tight end as well. Nick Herbig and Cory Trice Jr., Spencer Anderson on day 3. Fantastic value at all 3 of those picks. And the result is you got 7 potential day 1 contributors, and that's just unheard of. You just don't see that very often in the National Football League, and Steelers fans should absolutely consider themselves lucky to have Omar Khan as their GM here moving on into the future. So count them up for me down in the comment section. How many Hall of Famers do you think will be in this 2023 NFL draft class for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I know it's early. I know that we've got probably 2 decades before we even learn the answer to this question, but let me know what you guys think here right off the top of their careers. For me, I think that we might see even 2 or 3 from this class. All right, that's going to be it for today's show, guys. Really do appreciate all the real ones that made it to the end of today's program. Go ahead and click that subscribe button for more awesome Steelers content. Training camp is right around the corner. We're going to have you guys covered with everything from practice updates to breakout candidates to cuts, all these different things, all the way leading up to the 2023 season. We're going to have live watch parties for all 17 games of the Steelers schedule. If you're looking for more Steelers content on social media, you can find me on Twitter at Jack_Sperry. Really do appreciate all the support, guys. I will see you guys later. And as always, here we go, Steelers.